Well, we've come down to Toowoomba's range this morning to the small town of Helidon. And honestly, what we've seen this morning is absolutely incredible. In Helidon, it seems like it's one of the hardest hit areas. The people in this town have endured what I don't think anyone has possibly endured. We're at the Wars House at the moment. What has happened to their home is just, it's unspeakable. This is one of the bedrooms that has been impacted by the water. It went above the ceilings. It came through and it was that high. It went above the ceilings. You can see the damage that it's done and what it's left behind. It's tossed around bits of furniture that would take a number of people, grown men, to lift like it's a piece of paper. It's just incredible to see, and they're in a state of shock at the moment too. We'll continue along. This is their back patio at the moment. You can see all the silt that's been left around their chairs. What they probably once sat out here and enjoyed the view of their green grass. It's now much different. It kind of looks like a bomb's gone off. This is another bedroom just in here. You can see the amount of silt that has just come through, and the rate that it's come through at is just incredible. The damage that it's caused to the walls in the room, the roof. They don't know where to start. They don't know how long it's going to take to finish the cleanup. We'll move on next to their living room, or what was once their living room. This really gives you a pretty good indication as to just how forceful the water was that came through here. That thick build-up of silt and dirt will take weeks and months to clean out. You can see how powerful it is by how much it's moved all this big furniture around. And ironically, over in the corner over there is a bookshelf that seems to have been spared from that incredible torrent of water that came through. To the right of the bookshelf is their kitchen. You can see the windows have been blown out and there's silt just covering the floor. It's incredible, and their cleanup, they've started probably a few days ago and they've barely made a mark, unfortunately, but they're an incredible family, and their resilience and positivity in this time of dire need is amazing, and they know there's a big cleanup in front of them, and for the moment now they're just staying positive.
I like the fact that my bookcase is actually all complete with the books still packed in it. I think that's kind of ironic. And you have to have something to smile at. There's nothing else you can do. You've got to pick something that's funny, because otherwise you'd just cry. The whole day would just be wasted because you'd be in tears.
Yeah, it's gonna take a long time. There's gonna be a lot of tears. So.
While the War family has an incredible amount of damage around and in their home, there's also an incredible survival tale to tell. This window here is where they floated out. It was burst out by the water when the water surged through here. They had no other option but to wait for it to rise. They then floated out the window. When it continued to rise, they floated over here, grabbed onto this, waited for it to continue to rise until it got to the roof level. Once it got to the roof level, they floated out to the outside of the gutter. Unfortunately, when they grabbed onto the gutter, the electricity had faulted and the gutter was live. They grabbed the gutter and were continuing to get shocks. Once it died, they were able to climb onto the roof, and that's where they stayed for 3 hours. So amazingly, they somehow avoided being electrocuted and were able to get onto the roof. This is what they said before when they were relaying those few moments.
I turned around to come back down the house here, and we could see the water down in Lockyer Creek here. It was just a torrent. I said to Jean, we're in trouble. By the time we run down here, there was water through the yard, out in the front yard. Tried to get our pets out of the cages. Yeah. Then we couldn't get them out.
Had my husband been able to get to work, had Lloyd got to work on that Monday, and he was working in Dalby, so thankfully the road was closed and he didn't go to Dalby. But had he gone to Dalby to work that day, you would have been pulling a body out of here, because there's no way I could have made it to the roof. I'm a girl who's frightened of heights. I would never have got there. It just would not have happened. It just wouldn't have happened. I know that. He's my hero. If I hadn't had him here, I would have died.
This is the War family's backyard, and all of this debris and all of this gear has been swept out of their property and also from neighbouring properties. When we were speaking with them before, they mentioned that a lot of this machinery and a lot of all this stuff here has come from neighbouring properties and they've never seen it before. What was once here was a number of sheds that Lloyd, the owner here, used to collect a number of antique chainsaws. I think he had around 400 antique chainsaws And also he's got tractors. You can see the tractor right here that's, you know, bogged well up to its wheels there. So he's lost an incredible amount of gear that he said he's been collecting for 30 years. So that's a lot of memories and a lot of heartache and a lot of blood, sweat and tears that he's invested into all that gear, restoring it to what it once was, and now it's all gone. And he said he's got to start again. Over here is probably one of the hardest things for them to deal with. This is their motorhome. The War family was about to retire. In about 3 months, they were about to pack up and jump in this motorhome over here. When the water came through, it was parked over the other side of their home. Somehow the water has picked it up and dropped it over here.
And this then was going to become our retirement in travel area. Little bit of a joke with my son. I said, come and have a look at this van we bought. It's your inheritance. You'll get it when we're finished. I'm spending your money now. Now look at it. It's just a wreck.
So this was what they were looking forward to. This was going to be their time to relax as they look forward to retirement. Instead, they've lost everything, and now they've got to somehow rebuild and start all over again. So, but they are, as I said before, they're an incredible family, a family that is just so positive in a time of just complete bewilderment for them, something that they would never expect to happen or see. They've now just got to endure the cleanup, and hopefully in the next few months they can at least get back into their home and restart their lives.